to St. Mary's Church. There's a lot of technology here. We have a Mackie mixer, 4 choir mics that are above here, and they are hardwired to track one of the SVHS deck. So they're always on the SVHS channel. Program PA comes up through a mixer, through a compressor, and goes to track 2. So it's always a dual channel recording in SVHS, and then I can mix down whenever I want. There are 6 cameras. Camera 1 is this guy, and the lens on this camera is upside down. It's a 44:1, mounted on the little rig here. It used to be on an HK 322 that was at Met Stadium, or Shea Stadium, I think it was, one of the two. I think it's Mets baseball at Shea Stadium. So it's got a DXE 325 as the camera source, but it gets pretty close. And if you ever need a pattern projector, it's there, but I don't use it.
Yeah.
Notice that it's shooting only a portion of the pattern projector as opposed to the whole thing, because it's shooting down the center of the lens, so we're taking advantage more of the telephoto nature. So it's and it's upside down, obviously, because the lens is upside down. But the lens works real well upside down. It doesn't care.
Of course.
But it does. And when you want to get a close-up of the priest or the celebrant at the lectern, it does pretty well. That's pretty good for a headshot. Camera 2 is one that can be manually run when there's an entrance or something like that, and they move over to here or whatever. So this is the one that I usually man a lot. Camera 3 is pretty much fixed on people who stand at podiums here. Normally that stuff isn't there. Camera 4 is just an escape shot, which is just there, just a wide shot. Camera 5 is this guy, who's the iris is closed on it, but it's the choir, the front shot of the choir. Let's see if we can get that open here. There we go. The auto black had activated. But this is usually used for the choir when they're singing, and I will be switching with the right hand and panning with the left, and it works pretty good. And camera 6, of course, is fully robot. It's a big industrial thing up there. Much oversized for what it is. But it gives me another pair of hands to do what I want to do. The cameras often do split screens. If I can do this right. I want to do pattern limit, effect. And if you come this way, Richard, for a second. Oftentimes there is a song leader at the front of the thing, and I'm using this statue as the example. So we'll put this camera in the little box, and the song leader will be there singing, directing the choir, or directing the congregation. And we'll use this camera as the background, and just either manually dissolve back and forth or fade the thing in. So it adds a sense of realness to the telecast.
Oh, professionalism.
Well, whatever. Now, notice the lights just went out. I should explain that my little power supply rig here, this wonderful 4A switcher died just before Easter. And there were 4 little power supply units inside, actually 2 duals. And it does plus and minus 15, a plus 5, and a plus 10. The 10 is just for the lamps. Well, it died, and I'm not that great at fixing switching power supplies. And I couldn't find the capacitors that would do 200 volt. I tried every store around, and nobody had 200 volt capacitors. So, doing what any sensible human being would do, I went to another 4A product. I had some FA700s or FA740 frame stores that have other issues with them. And I ripped the power supply out of it one Saturday. And that's where they are. So there's a plus and minus 15 and a plus 5. And with a little voltage divider thing here, I made the plus 10. And I think I may have...
Is that a Sucrets can?
No, it is a rheostat.
Oh, it's a rheostat.
But I think I may have just lost the rheostat. It just... So I have some more work to do. I probably should just go out and get a little plus 10 supply and just be done with it. But this little rig this was a donated switcher. The chassis for it is underneath. This is a former zoom lens control with, it's amazing what you can do with a 4-pin XLR.
Oh yeah.
When you so choose. And it is a little noisy, but for what it is, it fits the thing. So this is another example of using the facilities for a good purpose. The Boston area, maybe it's not New England, the Boston area, when a police officer or a fireman dies, they do big funerals. They do really big funerals. So when this poor police officer, this has got to be 5 years ago, had his funeral here, they had contingents of police department. There must have been 500 police on motorcycles and whatever, because when a police officer dies on the line of duty, it's a big deal. So the press was here, and they wanted to have live feed of it, and they had set up at least 6 satellite trucks over here, and they didn't want all the press to bring their cameras in, so I had to run a video cable out to them and a DA. So I was doing a pool feed, like a presidential feed, if you will, to this contingent of press people. And you have no idea the feeling of power you have sitting there with your little fader and your little switcher. I control all the images. You know, you have this mindset of, oh my word, I can control the world. But I resisted the temptation to play the piano on the switcher.
There you go.
We're going live.